Good afternoon. It's Thursday, March 9th, 2023. This is the ride home. I waited quite a while to start recording because I was stuck in pretty bad traffic. The president is here speaking at one of these buildings. It literally took me about 40 minutes to go a distance that would normally take me like 5 minutes. But now I believe I'm past all of the hubbub, and I'm about to get on the road. I said 40 minutes. I think I'm exaggerating. It's 25 minutes. It took me 25 minutes to get to where I normally get in about 5 minutes. It seemed a lot longer at the time when you're just sitting there not moving. But still, it's a pain in the neck. Anyway, I didn't want to start recording because I wasn't really sure what I was doing. I wanted to make sure that I had got out of the mess and was well on my way before I started recording. And now I am. I'm on my way and I'm recording. And I've got nothing to share with you. Much like this morning, where I had nothing to share, but I ended up talking the entire time, I believe. I'm going to be running into a lot of extra traffic because of the president being in town and because of the delay. So I'm running into that big wave of people leaving work traffic. So I'm assuming the ride home today is going to be atrocious. So more about my subscriber. So he was talking about stuff he wants to, science experiments he wants to do for his kids and stuff like that. And I was trying to think of some. And like I said, I do want to make those binoculars I talked about this morning. I'll explain them again. I saw them on some YouTube video a while ago, and I was so fascinated by it that I had to make my own pair. And I did. And they worked very briefly. I really cobbled them together poorly. Like I bought some acrylic mirror strips to make them, and what it is it's just it's like a pair of binoculars. You just look through it, but what it does is when you look through it, the way you have the mirror set up inside, it shows your right eye what your left eye would normally see, and your left eye what your right eye would normally see, and that causes a weird effect. Everything gets reversed in perspective. Like I explained it this morning, if you put a brick on the floor, like an orange brick, instead of it looking like there's an orange brick on the floor, when you look at it through these binoculars, it looks like there's a orange colored hole in the floor, shaped like a brick. And I did get it to work, like I said, very briefly. I put it together with like big plywood, a bunch of brads, and like the pieces of acrylic mirror, and like I drew all the lines by hand, so like there was a lot of manually holding it together to get everything to line up perfectly. I would like to build it again and like make a much more high quality product. I kind of wish I had like a CNC router or a 3D printer at home. I think I will invest in one of those because there's all these little projects I always want to do, and like I always resort to trying to make stuff out of wood, and drill it and saw it and glue it and nail it, and like a lot of things that they don't really need to be. They can just be drawn up in CAD and 3D printed like that. The thing I'm talking about here, that would be a perfect example of something where if I found if I can find my old acrylic mirrors, I'll use them, but I think I'd like to find something a little better, even if it's just highly reflective sheet metal. That'll work as well. Any mirrored surface that I could attach to the angle plates. But there's only like, let's see, so you look through this, bounces it this way, bounces it that way. So yeah, there's only 4 mirrors that you need to do this, and you just make sure that they don't hit into each other. You just offset them slightly, and it's a pretty neat effect. I think like just that infinity mirror thing he was trying to do, and I think I've thought of a couple of ways to do it. I'm going to try to mock them up. I don't know if I'm going to have time tonight because it's already crazy late. Like right now, I would be getting pretty close to Valley Forge, but I'm nowhere near there right now. I'm way back here. I'm still in Philly. My foot's still sore from the gout. It's not so bad when I have my shoe off, but when I have my shoe on, it's pretty bad. So I did the same thing today at work. I sat there at my desk with no shoe on. I only put my shoes on if I had to go in the shop. It's getting better. It's much better than it's been. I mean, there was, like I said, the first week that it was flaring up, I couldn't even sleep. The constant pain was so bad. I do not wish this on my worst enemy. It's a horrible thing. Maybe I wish it on my worst enemy. Who is my worst enemy? Sometimes I'm my own worst enemy. Oof. So I did it. I wished it upon myself. Huh. So that's how that happens. I buy seltzer water. I buy it at BJ's when I go there. They come in I say quart containers. I don't know what size they are. There's 3 servings per bottle, and there's 0 calories, zero everything, except for sodium. Each container contains 10 milligrams of sodium, which is very little sodium. And they list amount per serving, amount per container. So there's 3 servings per container. There's 10 milligrams of sodium per container, but there's 0 milligrams of sodium per serving. And that bothered me, because that's clearly not right. I could understand if it's under 1 milligram, just call it 0, but it's obviously anywhere between 3 and a 3 1/3 that they should be reporting. And they're reporting 0. So I tried to call. I called the number on the bottle. Comments or questions, call this number. And it's the worst. The Berkeley and Jensen number you call, it's just this automated system that just keeps repeating itself. If you have any other further questions, but it doesn't tell you how to ask them. Otherwise, do this. And it's you can just hang up. They're literally keep just saying, you could just hang up. You could hang up. They this close to saying you might as well hang up because no one's going to answer the phone. I tried doing a voice thing. They don't tell you to hit any numbers. They give you absolutely nothing. They give you some choices. I think they say hit this if you want to know. Maybe store locations or something like that. But it's a completely useless questions number because you can't ask any questions. You call it and it won't let you ask a question. And I don't really care. It's such a minuscule amount of sodium that it doesn't matter. But I hate bad math. I hate seeing bad math just sitting there, just staring at me. It drives me bonkers. Which one's right? Maybe the 10. Maybe the 10 is a misprint. Maybe they have to report sodium content, and maybe there isn't 10 milligrams of sodium. Maybe there's 0, and it just says 10. I don't know which number is correct. Although I think seltzer water probably. I don't know. I have no idea. I should test it. I should test the water and see how much sodium's in there. How do I test for sodium? I could burn it. I could burn it in a sodium in a sodium lamp, around a sodium lamp, and it's not enough sodium to really cause the color change. And it is water. It's very hard to burn water. I guess I could boil off I could pour a couple gallons of the stuff into a pot, boil it all down till all I'm left with is the solids, and then lick it. And if it's salty, that means it contains sodium. How much is 10 milligrams? I'm imagining that's a very, very, very tiny amount. Like, would I even be able to detect that, like, as a thin sheen of sodium on the bottom of the pan after I boiled off like 4 bottles of water? I don't think so. Oh, good, the number changed. So as I was saying in this morning's video, on my way home on Tuesday, after I ended the final video, I realized that I was out of gas. I wasn't completely out of gas, but the car started making a noise, and I looked down and I noticed that where it says how many miles till empty, there's just like 3 dashes, which happens with my car if you're less than 30 miles till empty. And then I looked at the needle, and it was well under the last hash mark. So and it was starting to ride rough, which cars sometimes do when you're very, very low on gas, I guess, because it's like starting to pull vapors and stuff like that. So fortunately, I wasn't too far from a gas station, and I made it. Not the gas station I wanted to go to, but I wasn't about to risk going anywhere else. I went to the closest gas station I could find. I pulled in, and I got 17.8 gallons of gas. And then I looked it up later, and this 2018 Subaru Outback has an 18-gallon tank. So I was down to 0.2 gallons. Probably less, because it was I don't know. I can't imagine you could pull every last drop of gasoline out of the tank. There's got to be I'm sure there's like some kind of tube that comes down, and you don't get all the fuel. So I was as close to being out of fuel without going over as you could possibly get. Probably like less than another minute, and I would have been coasting to wherever I was going. And that's happened to me multiple times. Like this isn't the I've never run out of gas and been stranded anywhere needing gas. I've had other things happen, like road debris destroying a tire. That's a horrible story. Not too horrible. I didn't get killed or anything like that, but it was very, very harrowing. Like, it happened just as I was getting on the turnpike. There's no shoulder. I had to change the tire myself because there was this big confusion about like what kind of coverage we had. And it turns out I did have roadside assistance. We were calling the wrong place. We were calling our insurance company, but I got it through the dealership. So I ended up changing the tire on my own in traffic on the turnpike. And I'm laying there, and it was cold too, and I didn't have gloves. As I was laying there, like every single, like I'm laying facing the direction of traffic, because I know human nature is they'll see something and they'll steer towards it, and every single person coming down the turnpike did the exact same thing. They're driving along, they see my car, they look at it, they steer towards it, and then they like pull away. And it's like, oh shit, one of these guys is not going to pull away. He's going to get distracted. He's just going to squash me. So anyway, that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about running out of gas. So I have completely run out of gas, but I was able to coast into a gas station. And I've been this low before. I've been this low in rental cars. What I was complaining about this morning was your car has all these alarms for if your seatbelt is not on. But there's no big alarm. Like if you're driving and your emergency brake is on, just a little dim light on your dashboard over here. Your emergency brake's on. No ding ding ding. Nothing to alert you that something's gone horribly wrong. And it's bad to drive with your emergency brake on. The other thing is the fuel. Like there's no audible alert. Like, maybe it dings when I'm at 70 miles. I know the light comes on. There's a dim light saying that you're running out of gas. But it's the thing. It's like, it's not, I just feel like something like that, there should be more of an alarm. Like, for me, I think 70 miles, because that's pretty much, it's a little shy of how far it is from home to work. But I think 70 miles is perfect. And I think there should be an audible ding every time it increments down. Like, there should be 70 miles. Ding! Like, oh, what? Oh, gas. Ding! 60 miles. Ooh, I gotta get gas. But no, there's no ding. So, like, if you're not watching it all the time, and like, I unfortunately have this very long commute. It's a 100 and, I don't know, is it like 140 miles a day? Like, it's a little over 70 miles each way if I take the highways. So yeah, it's like 140 miles a day. It's very easy to run out of gas. Like, at full capacity, based on the miles per gallon, 18-gallon tank, I get about somewhere in the area of like 450 miles on a full tank of gas. So if I'm driving over 140 miles a day, like 3 days, like I'm definitely to the point where I can only get one more trip out of the car. So I guess in reality, it all comes down to, like, I just should pay more attention. I know I have a long trip. I just explained it in detail. I should be more aware of how much fuel there's in there. I just think it would be nice if there was like a little feature you could turn on. Like, I would love to turn off the seatbelt thing. I'm always going to wear my seatbelt. I don't need that annoying ding, 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 ding as soon as I get in the car. I will put my seatbelt on before I start driving. It's a safety thing, and I know they just keep the ding, ding, ding going so people will absolutely put their seatbelt on because it's so annoying. But you know, I still think more important is your emergency brake and your running out of fuel. I think there should be something equally as boisterous to alert you to that, just in case you get distracted or if you're on a long trip. Maybe it's just me. I mean, I might just be the only person that's completely oblivious to stuff like that and just lets it keep happening. I never was very good at adulting. Because I could very easily be on the complete other side of this argument. I could be the one saying, hey, you know, you're driving a vehicle, you got to be responsible, blah, blah, blah. Like, if you run out of gas, it's your own damn fault for not paying attention. I think the pivotal point is just how annoying the seatbelt ding, ding, ding is, and that's why I'm arguing that way. Because if we didn't have the seatbelt ding, 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 then I wouldn't be complaining about not having a ding, ding, ding for the emergency brake or the low fuel. You get what I'm saying? Are doing. I can't check because I'm recording now. I know they were down. It's been a down few days. I can't remember how far it was down. It was like another 500-point drop or something like that. Pushing my retirement off another decade. What am I doing? I have no idea what I'm doing. I just... I guess because I'm used to being somewhere else by now, I'm like just getting way over, and it's like, I'm nowhere near where I'm supposed to be to get into that lane. Get back into the... Sorry, just me being a crazy person. I was moving over to merge onto the to 422, but I'm not even close to there yet. the end there. Don't really want to start a new topic with less than 2 minutes to go. Nor do I have one to start. Now that I think about it, I think this is the jacket that I thought was making me sick, and now that I've had it dry cleaned, I don't sense it so much. Give it a few days. I'm going to have to review the tapes because I have 2 suit coats like this, not like this, just 2 blazer type things. One of them's like really, really ugly. Maybe not to you, not to me, but I know it's not. It's like got like weird colors and things like that. I don't think that was the one I was wearing. I thought this was the one. Pretty sure it was, but I'll double check. The yawning. I don't think it's from the jacket. That was one of the symptoms, but the yawning today is because I am tired. I was dumb and I did not go to bed early enough last night. Talking about asking if I could work remotely, but now I don't want to bring up the question at work because I spent 2 weeks essentially working remotely while I was going through the gout. So I don't want to press my luck yet. Get a couple projects under my belt before I broach the subject. Yeah, that's 22 minutes. I'm going to let you go and come back. Have a wonderful day.